The Cubbies lose! Hey, Cardinals fans, welcome back to the Redbird Rundown, presented by I-70 Sports. Your home for all things St. Louis Cardinals. I'm Andy, here with Jonathan and Matt. And we would love for you to share our Spotify and Apple links with your friends. They can be found on Facebook, Blue Sky, Twitter, and you can also watch us on YouTube. Today, we are going to unfold the Shohei Ohtani show, who finally decided to show up in the NLCS.
Wow.
And perhaps gave the greatest ever regular or postseason performance.
And no,
Wow.
perhaps.
Wow.
I think it just is.
Wow.
I mean, maybe a perfect game gets close to that threshold, but I don't think so. Like, I think the only thing that's better is like a complete game, shutout, perfect, like maybe perfect game.
He had three
Sh-
home runs, though.
Yeah,
He had three
Shohei,
home
geez.
runs.
Could you
That's what I
just,
mean. On top of like only Shohei could do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
that's
only
how he
thing.
outdoes himself?
That would be, yeah. He's like walking out with cheat codes. Either way, we'll unpack that in just a second. But we're going to give our second 2025 performance review, this time focusing on the infield minus the catchers. But before we recap that playoff action, there was a bit of a news on the coaching front, a couple of different things actually, regarding either former Cardinals players or managers. And the first one we're going to talk about is the former Cardinals manager, Mike Shildt, who was the manager of the San Diego Padres, is no longer. Matt, I believe you sent a very interesting thing. Why don't you share it with the listener what you found?
Yeah, so I guess the reports out of San Diego are they had just a mass amount of people that were like, if this guy's not gone, we are. And
Mm.
apparently that was echoed in St. Louis too. And so I'm now, with this hindsight, this philosophical differences conversation with Mo that we really like thought was about baseball. I am no longer sure it's about baseball. I think it's about Mike Shildt as a manager and a colleague, and I think it wasn't good. I think the Cardinals also had a mass of people getting ready to walk out. So if that is the case, A, Mike, get some classes, dude. And B,
Mm.
that really changes how I feel about Mo in that situation. I think A, handled it right, and B, I really think he did Schultz a huge favor by making it seem like it was a baseball thing when it was a Mike Schultz is a jerk thing, right? I mean, is that what you guys are taking away from this?
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think for sure. And I think two things just to support your claims there is that just the class that we handled this as an organization, none of this leaked out. We
True.
gave him the opportunity to go somewhere else. We didn't dog him. You know, philosophical differences at the time was vague enough for us to be upset, but now that makes total sense. Philosophically, we don't want to be jerks.
We don't
And
want to
wanna have
micromanage. We
I
don't
want to
want
have
to
an
be
open environment, right?
threatening. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it also, to contrast Schilt, like we did last week a little bit, this makes Ollie look that much better.
It does.
All these things were, like you quoted something last week, Matt, I think, where Winn said that he's not afraid to have the tough conversation, but is open to feedback. His door is always open. Schilt just couldn't do that. So this really just, wow. I mean, Christmas came early for us on this one. This just feels so satisfying to understand now what really happened. It's sad because it's not baseball related. Like, this
Mhm.
sucks because this is like on a human level. You don't want to work with people like this. So yeah, it's I guess it's shocking, but it isn't at the same time.
It's the type of person I think for me, when I read that article, it just triggered in me like several bosses that I've had through my years. Um, and it just, there's always a few that just like, okay, you show me what not to do in my life. Like, I don't want to be that. And so if I see myself, I use that as a bar of like, okay, how
Sure.
toxic am I getting? So I guess we're gonna have to add, am I as toxic as Mike Schilt right now?
Don't
Um,
ever go full Schilt.
no.
Well,
I don't really feel like in that situation.
uh,
I don't feel like personally I pitchforked Mo too bad with that.
no,
I
no.
was surprised. But now, in retrospect, I'm glad I didn't pitchfork Mo too bad because I think that is completely and totally blameless on Mo's part.
You know
I
what's
think that
awesome
was the
about
right
this
call.
too is that it appears that it's the first sign of this we acted. And that makes me feel better on a lot of different fronts about the organization is it wasn't like we're going to give him time to fix this and I don't want to be like, you know, one strike and you're out of here, but when stuff like this comes up and like people and workers within your organization say, "Hey, this guy's really creating a toxic environment," and they just unequivocally just acted in that moment. I like that definitive. This ain't how we build things around here. We're not going to do this. We're not going to dog you in the media. You can go off and so yeah, this is just it's kind of crazy.
I just think it reframes almost the whole thing because Schilt now it wasn't a performance based thing,
No.
and we that narrative had kind of broken out. Like Matheny was performance based, and that was warranted. Well, if Schilt's performance based, then what's Marmol still doing here? That it changes that now because Schilt was just a jerk. So that it was not on the field performance based. It was performance based, but not wins and losses. So
Yeah.
I yeah, you're right. I feel better about all of this. It makes me feel better about Mo. I really think the only thing I hold against him hugely is the lack of player development stuff that he let go. This was spot on, I think.
And to add on to the things that happened in the coaching carousel, we have some rumors of Yachty potentially joining the Cardinals coaching staff on in some way. He kind of mentioned something last year as well. So Jonathan, are we fans of Yachty coming to the Cardinals and the coaching staff?
I mean, no, my knee-jerk reaction is no. I personally don't ever think
Heresy,
that
heresy, heresy.
heresy. What
Get the
am I?
pitchforks out.
Cardinals heresy. You don't
Yeah.
want Yachty on the coaching staff?
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I don't.
I don't
I
either.
don't at all. Absolutely not. No, I just think it never. We talked about this earlier, before we started recording. That the highs could probably be pretty high, but I think the lows with this are way worse. They're much lower. And if it goes south with, someone like Molina or Poo Poo, who's looking for a job as well, it kind of tarnishes their Cardinal legacy a little bit. And then for just Marmol, all what this guy's been through here, as soon as we start to go south here, or there's an elongated period of bad performance, it's like, well, when is Yachty going to take over? And I don't. That just seems like a distraction. Um, I just think it's just easier if we just don't do it. Yachty, you were awesome for us, appreciate it, buddy, but don't start mucking up the organization with all this stuff. Is my take there.
So my take real quick is that, like you said, the highs could be high, as in the uninitiated, the casual fans that I kind of mentioned this to some of my friends who
Mm,
are barely Cardinals fans, like they are, but you know what I mean. And they were pumped about the fact that Yachty, like his name is in his hat is in the arena, just because of. So I think the name recognition would be good for like a casual fan, like oh my gosh, Yachty's coaching, but to that talking point, the casual fan is less likely to know when it's actually Yachty's fault. And like they would just blame, like for example, if the Cardinals continue to be bad, I could see them wearing rose tinted glasses and be like, yeah, well, it's not Yachty's fault because there's so much love for Yachty. And so
that's true.
I think Jonathan, you nailed it of the fact of like if it were time to depart from Yachty or Yachty's, we found out he's not a great manager, or it is his fault. I think that a
Yeah.
lot of people would have a hard time coming around to that. Like if we want to use the buzzword from last year, his runway would be too long, and it would be detrimental to the Cardinals. Matt, you have any thoughts about Yachty on the coaching
No,
staff?
I'm gonna go further. I would need to stop and think about Yachty as manager. I don't think I want that because of the downsides that you both mentioned. But I'll say this. Yachty on the coaching staff and not the manager, I don't want that anywhere near this franchise at all. I think Yachty very much does what Yachty wants to do, i.e., go watch his Puerto Rican basketball team in the finals during the middle of the season. I think he really has that big time. And I think if he's not the number one and Marmol is, I think there's all kinds of tension there. I don't think that's good for the clubhouse. Honestly, I trust Heim Bloom as a baseball mind more than I trust Yachty as an administrative baseball mind. And so I don't want Yachty anywhere near this project unless he's going to lead it. And I'm not sure if I want him to lead it. So I know that's heresy. I know people love Yachty. I
Yep.
also loved watching Yachty gun down players. I loved it.
Sure.
But I nowhere near I don't want him anywhere near this at all.
Well, somebody who is getting near to that head position, it sounds like, is Poo. Albert Pujols has been interviewed by a couple teams as a front leading candidate for. He's been linked to the Angels and to the Orioles, I believe. So
Yeah.
just interesting that these guys are just so in love with the game, I guess, that they're just into it. Matt, I think you said that you just
Why
kick your
would you
feet
want
up,
to?
you would be done.
I
The
would.
Angels must just love writing paychecks for Albert Pujols.
Hmm.
Yes.
I mean, they just can't stop doing it if they hire him as their manager. I just think that's hilarious.
So great segue. Imagine wasting Otani, Trout, and
Ah,
Pujols if you're the Angels. Imagine that compared to what Otani is now currently doing and did to the Dodgers last night, as we record on a Saturday. Uh, he gave an all-timer. It was truly incredible. His pitches were nasty. He was hitting over 100 on his fastball. He made Wilson Contreras' little brother look like a fool with
oh,
a
that
sweeper.
pitch.
He just waved at it. He
Twen-
knew.
27 inches of break is what I saw.
Yep.
That's
It
it's
started
over
on the
two
outside
feet.
corner and ended up in the left-handed
It's
batter
just
batting box. It was ridiculous. Cranked 3 home runs. One went like to the moon, I think. I mean,
got
it
on the
was
freeway looking for
yeah.
the Hollywood sign.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was ridiculous. It's really hard to put into terms for non-baseball or casual baseball fans, like what occurred last night in baseball. It was that seismic. It will probably never be done again unless the last
he
name
does
is
it.
Otani. Yep. It was, it's, I mean, it's,
To speak to your point, I saw an article by a national writer in the Washington Post, and she started her article like this. It was Picasso at the artistry. It was Beethoven on the piano. It was Jordan in the finals. It was Tiger in red on Sunday. It really was all of those things. I mean, it is just shut it down. Period. End of story. He's the best baseball player ever. And if you're
ever.
going to do that, like Mount Rushmore of one guy for each sport, there's just no way it can be anybody but Otani in the baseball slot.
I saw somebody say, this is not my original thought, although I wish it was, that this is the equivalent of like Tom Brady throwing 5 touchdowns in the AFC Championship game and sacking the quarterback 6 times.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
That is,
Really is
that's exactly what it is.
dominance on both
And
sides.
and
Yeah.
these pitches, I just want to say this about the Brewers really quick. These pitches were not mistakes to him. They were not mistakes. He crushed these pitches, and
Right.
they were not like placed in horrible spots. He hit an 89-mile-an-hour cutter out of the zone inside, literally out of the stadium.
Yes.
Get out of the stadium. The guy comes out 10 strikeouts. It's just if you're the Brewers, I mean, do you even feel bad? Right? This is just the wood
Yeah.
chipper
I
of all
mean,
wood chippers for the Dodgers right now. I mean,
Mookie said it after the game. He said, "We're the Bulls," and that was Michael Jordan. That's what he said about the team.
and I know there's a larger discussion about how fair is this, but I mean, if you're Major League Baseball or you simulate this like in MLB The Show, the Dodgers win the NLCS and the World Series 8 times out of 10 because who's going to beat them 4 times who's going to beat them 4 times, right? In the
If they're
wild card
clicking, right?
or the DS, right? You might have a chance if it's a shorter series, but when they're clicking and they're at their best, there is no chance anyone's going to beat them. You got to hope for the 2 out of 10 where people's arms fall off and they forget how to
Right.
hit. But if Mookie's not good and Otani's on an absolute burner, I mean, look out. The guy's just otherworldly on both sides of the ball. It's a Dodgers, it's a blue freight train, and there ain't nobody getting in the way. Nobody's gonna stop it.
Themselves. That would be the only
What
people to
that would
stop
be
them.
it, right? Yeah,
Themselves. Because on the flip side, the ALCS, we have the Mariners and Blue Jays in a tighter contest. Kind of almost reverse sweeps happening for
yeah.
the away teams. The Mariners come away with it last night to go up 3-2. So obviously that is who I was personally am dumping for. Want that to
Hmm.
dump number 62. Is that what he'd be on? I lost count. I think it's
Yeah.
62.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I need to try to do that in the World Series.
I think there's a like an innocence to those like the Seattle fans. Like when Dumper goes deep, they have not had like just decades of success. The Dodgers are kind of like on a 2 decade run here, not winning the World Series every year, but they're always in the playoffs. And Seattle
Yeah.
hasn't had that. And then Suarez hits that Oppo Taco grand slam. It's just like pandemonium. And there's something I don't have anything against him. So it's just like such a wonderful thing to feel and to see. And then just kind of that ache for wanting that back in St. Louis because I love watching the NFL. I love watching the NBA. I'm not sure there's anything like the baseball playoffs in terms of like intensity and reaction, and just the way that baseball's laid out. It's slower, it's more dramatic. It is just incredible when stuff like that happens.
Yeah, it was fun. Did you hear the call from one of the broadcasters for that Apo Taco, like Grandma get the rice out or something like that? I laugh about that. That was a good one.
Yeah, isn't
Yeah.
it crazy if you're Eugenio Suarez and you hit 2 home runs, one of them is a grand slam, the other one, I think, was it a solo shot? I think it was that or a 2-run home run. You have 5 or 6 RBIs and you're an absolute footnote back page of the paper the next day because Shohei.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, think about that. That's also an insane playoff performance. He just
it is.
saved the Mariners season and no one cares.
One cares. Yep, yep, you're right.
Nobody cares.
Well, let's get to some players that we may not care about here in a second. I have a few. We're gonna go through the Cardinals infield from this past season, and we're gonna do a performance review, which is always an anxiety moment if you're an employee and someone is gonna have one of these with you. You just never know. You just the psychology going on in these meetings for me personally. It's just like
Sure.
just stop and just tell me, because like don't do your sandwich method. Don't give me a compliment, something to fix.
Andy's
Compliment
waiting for the butt.
like right,
But
right. Nothing matters before the butt.
yeah.
So we're gonna go through again, like I said at the top, through the infield minus the catchers, since we have 55 of them on the roster. Um, so that's Willie, Winn, Arenado, Donnie, Saggese, Gorman is who we're going to look at. And basically, what we're going to do is we're going to we're going to throw in all of the numbers, offensive, defensive, base running, all that kind of stuff into a big pot, stir it up, and say at the end, is their spot, was it worth it? Were they worth their weight? Were they worth their roster spot? Do we give them one next year? Is basically the idea of what we're doing here. So are they worth? Are they going to get that 3% raise? Are they looking to get axed? We'll see. So first, let's start with someone who should be pretty solidly an okay person here to talk about first. Let's go to Wilson Contreras first on first base. Uh, and I have him at salary. So I don't know. Well, I'm interested in how you guys did this. I did a more of a mathematical approach. I just kind of did their salary divided by what their WAR is, and that's rudimentary and is lacking nuances, because there are definitely nuances to a player. But just in terms when I thought of performance and are you worth it? How much are you costing every year versus what did you produce? That seemed relatively straightforward. So Willie is like an 18 million range last year. He's at like 17.5. And if you compare his WAR, he had like a 3 point. I forget. Let me pull it up here. I have it somewhere. It was like a 3 point.
I got
2.8.
2.8.
2.8.
Yeah.
That's right. 2.8. Just below 3. So if you divide that, if you take his salary and divide it by that 2.8, he's at like one more is worth 6.25 million. So he is on par with other elite-ish players. Um, so he had a negative base running value for the whole year. So that's,
Really?
I
That
imagine
shocks
that.
me.
He had a 13.3 offensive WAR. He had a negative 4.8 defensive WAR. So I have him as he's not a steal. Okay, he's not overproducing his salary, but he is on par with other elite players that are getting paid about. So if you take that number, that 6.25 is a good solid number for most players that he's in the bracket with. So Matt, what do you have for you? Is Willie worth the spot? So for me, yes, Willie is worth his spot.
All right, so the last 3 years, Willie's OPS plus has been 123, 138, and 122. He had an OPS under 800 this year, and I'm just going to say it. I was left a little cold by Willie's offensive performance this year. I know that it ranks towards the top in terms of right-handed hitters, but I really thought getting him out from behind the plate and letting him be at first base and letting him have a season without injuries, except that didn't quite happen, did it? I really thought that we were going to see like something close to an offensive explosion from him. And maybe that's not a fair thing for me to put on him, but he left me a little bit cold when I started looking into his numbers. I'm seeing average or slightly below average defense at first base, which honestly, coming from the catching position, I think that's a huge win. 18 million in 26 we owe him, 18.5 million in 27 we owe him. I was surprised that this is my conclusion. I do not think Willie is worth his roster spot on the Cardinals going forward. I think that we should look to move on from him. I think he is an injury risk every single year. He has not played over 140 games yet for the Cardinals. There's some instability with him, right? You never know when he's going to like go nuclear and get tossed out or thrown out of a game.
Yeah.
I love Willie. I would not be mad if we kept him because you do need somebody hitting in the middle of the order. But I just think age, position, kind of he's part of the clog again if we got guys that could do this. And so I was shocked at myself, but I ended up with no. I do not think that Willie is worth his roster spot with us going forward.
Wow. All right, Jonathan.
So
break this tie.
Yeah. I kind of took this from the top here. I looked at their WAR first, wins above replacements, 2.8. It's okay, right? It's good. It's not bad. It's solid. All-stars typically 4. Anything above 5 is like you're really doing something, and then you're like Shohei and Judge when you're 10, right? So just there's the scale. Offense 124 WRC plus. That Matt had used OPS plus. They're very similar. They differ in small ways. So he's 25% better than the average major leaguer. We'll take that all day. You know, by the numbers, he was pretty much our best hitter all year, basically, like consistently throughout the year. Defense, agree with you what you said, Matt. He had 6 outs above average at first. Did not expect that. He's not a liability. He really looked pretty good. He scooped a lot of balls. Like he didn't look, you know, like a pine cone over there. And why pine cone? Why did I say that? That's the first thing came to my head. I don't know.
Okay,
he's not small at all. He's not small at all. Okay, here's my verdict. This is how I looked at every single one of these guys. He's not on the next great Cardinal team. We've said this before. This is my litmus. We need to trade him. I know he wants to be on the team. He's already made this known. But we have a ready-made replacement, and his name is Alec Burleson.
Yep.
And he needs to play first base because he can play the outfield corners, but his home is at first base. Willie, here's the thing. Willie has trade value. Willie can help someone win right now. He can. Look at the bottom feeder, like playoff teams that just kind of snuck in. Well, not even snuck in like Cleveland. They won their division. They couldn't hit to save their life, right? There are teams like that throughout the league who could use somebody like Willie who's going to go give you 120-ish WRC plus. There are no indications that I saw that he is going to start to take an offensive dip, right? I mean, sometimes it just happens out of nowhere. Nolan Arenado, right? But there's no indication that he's going to. His max exit velocity looks good. His bat speed looks good. Those are typically indicators that somebody's slowing down slightly. I would love for us to capitalize on him and try to trade him and put Burleson in his spot. He has this no trade clause. That's going to make it difficult. Just like you said, Matt, if he's on the team, I'm not going to hate it. But if it's up to me, I'm trying to trade Willie and appreciate you on the way out. And hopefully there's no like barrels of Haichu that he can throw at me.
Andy, to your point real quick, though, I think you're right to say he's good for his contract. He is good value for his contract, and he is a good hitter. He's a good player.
Yes.
So I think you're right about that. I just, like Jonathan, I was just thinking about where is our franchise. I really thought heavily about Burley. That's really what he needs to be doing. So that's kind of where I landed. But I just did want to say, Andy, I think you're right, though. He's valuable. He's a plus. I do think all those things for sure.
Yeah, because if you compare him, I didn't give the comparisons, but since his salary is not as high as some of these guys, and obviously his WAR is not as high, but again, the value, he's on par with Vladdy Jr., he's on par with Bryce Harper, he's on just a little bit more expensive than Freddie Freeman. So, yeah, he's like the mid-tier good value player. So if that makes him good trade bait, I can see your guys' point for that Burley is waiting in the wings to be the same type of player. So I can buy that.
Yeah, and that's your point about the salary is that someone would take that and not feel heartburn taking it.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, oh, okay, this guy's going to produce something. Like, I would rather have Contreras at first than Josh Naylor, who's playing in Seattle right now.
Sure.
I would. And you know, and Naylor's going to be a free agent. It's just a no trade clause. In a perfect world, and we could trade him, people would want him. They'd be knocking on the door for him.
So let's just move around the horn from first and just move over to the position that when children or high schoolers line up to play second base, I just can't handle where adults think that like people should be playing second base. Like, yeah, you just go out there. I just no, the second baseman is off of second base. Get them off of second base, okay?
Unless there's a right-handed pull hitter.
I mean, yes, unless the shift is on.
Oh, they're playing for the shift. That's right. Oh man.
I guess that's true. Maybe I'd be
Yeah.
like, that's what I'll say. Oh, got the shift on. Got it. All right. Let's move to the Donnie Gorman Saggese.
Yeah.
All three?
Sure.
Well, do you want to start with Donnie? Let's start with Donnie.
Yeah. So Matt, why don't you bat lead off on the second base slot? Let's start with Donnie first, and we'll move down from there.
Okay. So 119 WRC plus, 2.9 WAR. He's gonna be 29 years old in 2026. That played into what I was thinking massively. And here's how I just characterize him. He's consistent. He's rock solid. He's gonna give you production. You can put him up in your order. He's gonna be on base. He's
Yeah.
a valuable piece. He's got defensive versatility out the wazoo. None of the places are like just sterling defense, but you can literally put him in like five different positions on the diamond and he can play them respectably. I think that's huge, right? He is a team leader, which we'll get to Nolan Arenado here, but he's a vocal
wait.
leader. He's a positive voice. He's just got glorious hair. His helmet flies off. I love Donnie, right? Just love him personally. He has 2 years of arbitration left on his contract, so he is going to start to hit these years where he gets paid closer to what his actual production is, which means for the Cardinals, he's going to start to get more expensive. So again, I was surprised when I started diving into Donnie. I thought, man,
Matt is
29
trading half the Cardinals roster.
we need to. I think we need to. It's time for a fresh change. And so here's what I said. I do not think Donnie is worth. But again, that's a bad way to phrase it. Donnie's a good player. He's solid. He's productive. If we traded him, people would want him again. But for the Cardinals, he's too old to fit our timeline. He's going to start getting too expensive, and there's not enough upside. He was an all-star this year, but hot take, he was an all-star because every team has to have an all-star. And it's not like he's just was horrific as a player. But you know what I'm saying? I don't think Donnie's true talent level is an actual all-star, that if you just had the fans vote and the coaches pick the players that deserved it, I don't think that's Donnie. So for us, again, going forward, I don't think he's worth his roster spot. I think it would be good for us to get some stuff and move on.
Jonathan, do you agree?
I couldn't give more of a wholehearted agreement to that.
Oh
because there's a few of these guys I didn't even think twice about trying to trade Donnie. I'll tell you why. The Cardinals have had a horrible track record of not maximizing on dude's value at the time. Okay? You can maximize on him right now because Donnie is sneaky an injury problem.
Yeah, that's true.
He's been hurt the last couple of years. You can say that he's an all-star. Everything you just said, Matt, I can't really add anything else to that because you're right. His resume is really glowing. He has a really nice profile. He's a great solid hitter, great solid defender. He's just not on the next great Cardinal team. I'm going to keep saying that. If we're going to be good in 2 to 3 years, Donnie will be 31. What are we going to give him? What kind of contract? Do we want to invest in that? He doesn't have a huge power presence. Again, I could list you 5 teams right now that are fringe playoff teams or playoff teams that would kill for Brendan Donovan. Donnie is, by all accounts, when I was looking at the Fangraph leaderboards, he's the number 2 offensive second baseman in the league behind Ketel Marte. Who wouldn't want that?
Sure.
Right? So just what I say, he's awesome. This is our best trade chip on the whole team right now that would be worth trading, in my opinion. I would go to Seattle and I would say, give me one of these guys, even one of the lesser guys, and you actually have some offense, right? They struggled for offense for years. Donnie is an asset. Let's trade him now and get some pitching depth down there because there's somebody named John Jameson Weatherholt. That's not his name. I just made that up. JJ Weatherholt that is going to take his spot. I'm just telling you that right now. He needs to play second base, okay? And Donnie's going to plug that up. I know Donnie can play everywhere, but for goodness sake, Chaim Bloom, please maximize on his value right now.
Yeah, because his value is unequivocally there. Like
Yes.
Undeniably,
Yep.
he is a steal. So I gave that. You divide their salary by their WAR. He's
sure.
less than $1 million per his WAR. That is insanely cheap. Like you guys said, yeah, there's arbitration. So he's worth $25 million on the market.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
he's worth.
Yeah.
based when I started digging into these numbers. So currently the Cardinals are paying him less than $3 million. So that's a great point. I really like what you guys said about that. Like, is he worth $17 million for the Cardinals more a year? Probably not, because we have JJ waiting in the wings. So again, this is just in respect of, I had him also as insanely valuable, but also there's just too much of a clog somewhere. So we have to flush the toilet and clear it.
Right.
All right. So,
That's right, Big
so
Dumper. Tell him. Just real quick, last thing on Donnie. We all know folklore legend Tommy Edman from the Los Angeles area, right? Donnie is about 2 times the hitter of Tommy Edman.
Yes.
Just want to say that. Tommy
Yes.
may have the advantage on the defensive side of the ball, but if you were to trade Donnie and Donnie was on the Dodgers right now, he would be beloved over there.
Yes.
Right? So I just want to say
the
that.
hair, could you imagine?
Oh man, the hair, California, he's already got it.
Donnie for Roki Sasaki. Who says no? Let's get it done, Dodgers. Let's just do it.
Let's see if the universe is watching this next player.
Oh,
the Galaxy's done.
Okay.
Oh,
well, Jonathan,
Gorman?
take it. Yep, Nolan Gorman.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. He accounted for a whopping minus 0.2 wins above replacement.
woo!
So he was 0.2 worse than a replacement player. Not great, folks.
No.
His offensive stats this year: 205 average, 296 on base, and 370 slugging for a WRC plus of 88. Again, 100 is the baseline. That is not good. He had a better K rate, 33.8% K rate, down from 37%.
Hey.
Right? That's like being like, I'm addicted to cocaine, to being like, well, now I'm just on crack. So it's like you're on a drug that's terrible, and it's still terrible because you're on drugs, right? Defense. I'm not going to say he's a pine cone. I'm going to be better here. He is just like, do you know when you go to an airport and you're like rolling your luggage, but it's not one with the tires that move all the way? It's just like one direction and it flips over on the side.
Yes.
That's Gorman at third base and at second base.
Okay.
He can't play defense. Okay. My ultimate goal verdict here with him is trade him. We're not going to be able to unless somebody really just wants to take a flyer because he has no value. I do not personally believe in the upside of the Gore right now. Okay. I do not. I don't. It scares me that he had 3 pretty decent months with us last season. They were okay. He had 3 months that were okay. His other 3 were absolutely terrible. There are other guys on the roster that I want to take these at bats. I'm tired of seeing him. Here's the caveat. If we cannot trade him because he has no value, I do not want to just give him away. What you could do is you could platoon him as a DH and let him just face the righties, and maybe he hits a little bit, gains a little bit more value. You flip him at the deadline because you do need guys on the roster. You do.
Yeah. Somebody's got to play. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, he could realistically hit 15 home runs by the trade deadline, and people be like, "Well, hey, this, we could use him in the playoffs or a stretch run or something like that." I just don't want to give him away, as opposed to somebody else we're going to talk about later, how I'd like to give him away. I don't want to give Gorman away, but we have to be done with him. Personally, I'm tired of this. I'm done watching it. All the Star Wars references, all of it. I'm just done with it.
Matt.
So what you're saying is Grand Moff Tarkin really just landed his plane right on those people and killed 500 of the core.
Yeah, I think you're right.
That good. I agree with I agree with everything you said. I'm going to underscore a couple of things. He did have 2 months this year where you were like, oh, he's going to run a 130 WRC plus. Oh, he's figured it out.
Yeah, he's back. Right.
Nolan Gorman to me is the poster child for the fragility of the mental acuity of baseball. All of the physical tools are there. When the guy connects in that lefty swing, it is just, you could build a statue out of it. It's beautiful.
It is.
Right? So his physical capabilities are there. It just comes down to him for pitch recognition, controlling the zone, working the count. I don't think he's mentally capable of doing that. And what's my evidence? The last 3 years are my evidence. So he is now moving into his arbitration years. We are no longer paying him the $750,000 of a rookie contract. He's going to start getting more expensive, which, I'm not rooting against these guys for getting paid. I want them to get paid. I think that's great, right? But I think the comparison of the sideways piece of luggage that you're just dragging down the hallway is just absolutely perfect for him.
Yep, it is.
I agree. I do not believe anymore. We just need to move on. It's time to break up. There are Weatherholts. There are Saggeses. Now, I'd rather have Donovan than Gorman,
Oh, me
right?
too.
But I agree with you. I think we should try and find the value in Donovan. I like your point about maybe platooning him if we just absolutely cannot trade him at all. But it's time. It's time. The Galaxy's done watching, as you suggested.
He's the only infielder that we're going to talk about that had a negative WAR, and a negative in every category that looked at, which was base running. He was a liability out there. He was a liability at the plate, and he was a liability on defense. Yes, he was still on the rookie contract. He made $782,000 last year. But no, he is not worth the roster spot because of people like this next guy that we're going to talk about right now, Thomas the Italian Saggese. He also is on a rookie
The train,
contract.
that's a new one.
Yeah,
Okay,
I like the
train.
train edition.
Yeah, that was nice.
It is.
Thomas the Italian train.
Okay.
And he also is on a rookie contract, $775,000. He had a 0.5 WAR. He was 0.6. He was a positive WAR for the Cardinals on the base paths. Good job, Thomas the Italian train.
Can't believe that.
He did have a negative 5.9 offensive WAR, but a 1.3 defensive WAR. So here is a guy that young. He's like 23.
Yep.
Very
and
young.
here we go. That's better than Nolan Gorman, and they're making about the same amount of money. So, in my opinion, Nolan Gorman is, bye, because we have Thomas the Italian train literally on the team going, "Hi guys, I'm a better version for the same amount of money, and I'm younger." So that's where I'm at with Thomas the Italian train. Matt, what about you?
I think it's time to see if Saggese can be the right-handed Donnie. The defensive versatility is there. I put zero stock into his offensive stats last year. I just don't think he got the run. He needs consistent at bats. Let's just see. I'm not saying he's going to be Donnie. I'm not going to say he's like a fringe all-star, but we need to see. It's time. Let's take the batting gloves off. Let's get over to the right side of the plate. Do we have a Matt Carpenter? Do we have a Brendan Donovan? Do we have? I think we have something. He can play short. He can play second. He can play third. He could probably play in the outfield. So it's like literally a younger, cheaper Donnie clone that fits. To Jonathan's point, which is I bet this is how Heim is thinking: is he on the next great Cardinals team? I think he could be. Hopefully, he's not starting on the next great Cardinals team, but hopefully he's playing like 4 days a week at 3 different positions, and he's doing this. I think that's in there, and I do want to see that. So he is, to me, the performance review is good for him. Let's go forward and give him a lot more.
Yeah, I agree with both of what you guys are saying. I think when it comes to like where does he play and how often does he play, I mean, I want to sit here and stand on he's the third baseman next year. I want him to play third base next year. I want him to play that position 5 to 7 days of the week. Like I want him to play every day. Like because we need to see. Okay, he doesn't need to do anything in AAA. All statistical, everything.
His minor league
aside,
profile is strong.
He's a great minor leaguer.
Yeah.
He was a better minor leaguer than Donnie. Now, the difference between, because Matt, you said that, you alluded to it. I did a little bit of research on that. Donnie came up and hit immediately.
Yes, he did. He hit
immediately. Thomas has not. Now, his WRC plus overall for the season was an 81, which is not great. It was very sparse, but he got real run in September, and that went from 81 to 90. And I feel like once he gets the run, like you said, I think that we would see, hey, is he something? I think he is. You don't have like 142 WRC plus in AAA and just completely forget how to hit, right? He's 23. There's no reason to run Gorman out there, the other guy we're going to talk about. And I have said this before, I don't want JJ to play a position that he maybe isn't comfortable with when Saggese can do it. If JJ has to do it eventually, I just want to protect this guy at all costs. Buddy, you're second baseman, then you're going to play second base. We are not going to pull this Walker BS where we're like, have you ever thought about catching because Herrera can't throw? I don't want to do that. I just want to be like, you're a second baseman, buddy. You're going to play second base. Let Saggese move around if he has to. I'm all in on Thomas, the Italian train, tank, whatever you want to call him. I'm all
are we
in on
serving
him
pizza
playing.
on this train? Is there coffee? Like, what are we doing here?
I
just
heard
don't
him
know.
say his actual nickname on the team is Saggy, which is just
Oh, wow.
reprehensible.
We
Saggy?
can't do that.
Come
We're not
on.
going to do that to him on
I
the
won't do
Redbird
it,
Rundown
Thomas.
podcast. First of all, Thomas, come on
Please.
the
Yeah.
pod. Secondly, we will protect and
rebrand
defend you here.
Yes, we will.
Yes, we
Make
will.
you anew.
Yes. Make
All
you
right.
anew. That's good.
So moving over to the shortstop position, which would be
Oh,
the next step, is one Mason Winn. Jonathan, why don't
yeah.
you take us through Mason Winn, his performance review here?
Okay. Yeah. 3.5 WAR. That's great.
Mhm.
Highest WAR on the team. Um, he was as close to an all-star WAR as you're going to get, although the shortstop position is just really difficult to become an
Yeah.
all-star. Lindor, Mookie, there's a bunch of big names. He may get there someday if he really clicks on offense, which is what I'm about to talk about. 253 average, 310 on base, 363 slugging, WRC plus of 91. Here's the thing, okay? I did a comparison between him and Ozzie Smith. All right. I just wanted to see. I just
Yeah.
wanted to see
Okay.
because Ozzy is known for his ridiculous defensive. I mean, the wizard. Yeah, everybody knows this, right? So Ozzy had a slightly higher on base percentage throughout his entire career. Everything else is almost dead similar.
Wow.
Everything. Slugging, average. There were some years where Ozzy hit a little bit better. Some years Ozzy hit a little bit worse, right? So if you average it out, it was pretty much the same. Matt, I saw your face when I talked about his offense. Let me see if I can change that face for you. In March and April, he had 119 WRC plus. In May, he had 127 WRC plus. June, 74. It's a slump. It's going to happen. July, 96 WRC plus. August and September was terrible because he was hurt. So if you take all of those months I just told you at the beginning of the season, really half the season, his WRC plus is 104. He plays that defense and is a 104 WRC plus. Give this man $20 million a year because he deserves it. That is a shortstop that is legitimate. If the ceiling is any higher than this, he's $30 million a year. He just is. Because when you have Pop at that position, you are worth it. I will take this ridiculous defender and take that mild offense all day long. The defense speaks for itself. 21 outs above average. The guy, he's going to win the gold glove. If he doesn't, it's crazy. I don't think he's going to be the platinum glove. I think there are others that probably. Key Brian Hayes was insane if you look at any of his stuff. Third baseman for the Reds. Even PCA might slightly edge him there. Like he's made some pretty. I don't know. It's all up in the air. We don't know who's going to win the Platinum Glove, but he has the opportunity to do it. So, what's my verdict? What's the performance? He's a gold star. Thumbs up for me this year. I wish his offense was better. I wish I could have seen a whole year, but he was hurt, and I trust the first half, and I think he can get better. We keep him and build around him. He is on the next great Cardinal team. There's no question about that. And I'm here to tell you, if he stays a league average hitter and he plays this kind of defense throughout his career or right around it, he's going to go to Cooperstown. I literally don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you.
That's a pretty strong case. It is pretty good, pretty strong case.
Yeah.
I just
You're gonna cut the Hall of Famer from Jonathan, Matt?
No, make the other case.
no,
There's one.
there is not a case to make that he's not worth the roster spot. He is worth the roster spot. We do need to go. Here's where I'm going to slice the difference, though. I want to see one more year out of him before we start talking extension. And I know that will make him a little more expensive because he'll be a year closer to arbitration and a year closer to free agency. First of all, I need to see if this knee thing is going to be okay because that would be a bad thing for a 23-year-old to start having already. He's had back issues. Okay. So I want to see that.
That's true.
Second of all, I want to see this offense for a whole year. And I will save the deepest of the deep dives because I think we might do a runway guy series where we really look at how they succeeded or how they failed. I was looking deep into some of Winn's stuff. His hard hit rate was higher. His line drive percentage was higher. So I suspect that there's going to be a bounce back in him. And Jonathan, you're right. If he can ever get out of the 105 WRC plus, if he can get into the 120s, that is 1,000% a Cooperstown as long as he has a long career
Yeah.
and starts to accumulate some counting numbers. So yes, he's worth it. Yes, I want to build around him. Yes, he's on the next great Cardinals team. It is so hard to get elite defensive shortstops that can hit it all.
Yeah.
And Winn can hit kind of, right? I just want to see a little bit more. Do you guys think that's too harsh? Or are you like full bore, let's get this guy a contract extension right now?
It would be a gamble if we did that. Like if we did like he's young, let's give him 12 years and whatever, like
Right.
$400 million, one of those deals. I think that you're right. It would be a gamble because there's glimpses of good from the offensive side. And it's just you wonder if they did something like that, you would have to think that they knew how much he was like if the injury was hurting his offensive, like
Hmm.
they'd have the inside information, like, oh yeah, we understand. So I think it would be prudent, Matt, to look to make sure how injury prone is he? Is his injury rating a 40 or is it just a one off and he's like an 85 and we just need to give him some more time? Because the guy played at a level of, Francisco Lindor.
Yeah.
He played at
Yeah.
Mookie Betts' level. Javier Baez is at Trey Turner's level. And listener, these guys are getting paid 25 to $32 million a year, and that's who we have at the shortstop position. And we paid him, by the
Yeah.
way, $800,000. So his performance review for this year for the Cardinals is like literally off the charts because of how valuable that was for. It's like we have a stud rookie quarterback on that rookie contract that I love to make.
Hmm.
This is it. We have
This is
one.
it. Yep.
We have someone who's worth, yeah, easily $25 million probably at his current rate, what he's playing at, and we're paying him like literally next to nothing. So this is maybe the Cardinal way. This is the poster child for the Cardinal way to me. So this is someone who is worth a roster spot. He had a pretty high, speaking of his base running also is solid. He was 1.6 base running rating on Fangraphs. So uh, better
Yeah.
than a lot of the Cardinals. So that is a
Yeah.
bright spot as well. So yeah, his defense is really good and his base running is above average. So if we have a mediocre offensive shortstop, I think what more can we have an elite defense, above
Yeah.
average base runner with an average offensive shortstop. I think that's something to work with for the future.
Yeah.
He's also 23 years old. We were just talking about that with the JC. I mean, it's
Very
crazy
young.
what he's doing. And 23-year-olds often grow as offensive performers. So I think I think there's room here in the tank for him. I really do. He's very,
Yeah.
very exciting.
I mean, if he's not hurt the back half of the year, is this a 4 WAR season?
Yeah, for sure.
He just stumbled into a 4 WAR season at 23.
Yeah.
Here's the other piece. I pray Mason Winn does stay healthy and everything, all the positives we're wishing happen because I want JJ to play second because I do not want JJ to ever play shortstop. He
Mm.
had some injury history in college on hamstring stuff. And he was a solid defender at shortstop, he
No
is going to
Paul
be an
Caitlin Clark.
excellent second baseman, right?
Mm.
He's going to be an excellent second baseman if he was a good shortstop. And selfishly, I just want to see Mason Winn throw 200 miles an hour from
Yeah.
shortstop. I mean, think about, him being 23 versus when he's 27. What if he's 27 and he can hit 20 home runs? I mean, we're talking about the ceiling, I think, with him is like really high. And if he's just this, he's a solid player.
If he's just
Yeah.
this, he's worth $25 million.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. And I agree with you, Matt, about maybe
Yeah.
waiting on that extension because, you wouldn't give him like the Jackson Churio deal. You wouldn't give him like 110 million. He's probably not maybe worth that right now, but if you wait a little bit, I would want to see still. You don't want to
Mm.
invest in somebody's going to have the injury history. I mean, Churio got hurt in the playoffs. He's like
True.
20.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a cat
It'll
and
be
mouse game.
interesting to see if we do that or not, if Bloom goes for that.
You
Agreed.
know who is probably not going to be on the roster for any of us is the third baseman
Can't
for
wait
the
for
St.
this.
Louis Cardinals.
You guys go first. I'll make the opposite case.
Oh, okay.
Oh, boy.
He is he had a 0.9 WAR. He he has $27 million on our salary cap. So if we're saying that Mason Winn is worth 25 million at his WAR, this is the worst. If you look at our infield of who was worth their money, he is literally the worst one. We are paying him for someone who Jonathan just said should go to Cooperstown if they have a good and Nolan may go to Cooperstown. I don't know.
Ugh.
Okay, maybe. There might be a case for that, but we are not currently in the seasons of Cooperstown. This is the back end of this career. He had a negative 1.7 base running value, negative 9.9 offensive WAR. He was 3.7 defensive WAR, so he's above average at third baseman still, but he is not worth the log jam. He is not worth economically the roster spot. He's being currently way overpaid, and I don't know how we get rid of him. I don't know how a GM of a team goes, let me have $30 million on my my sheet here for what he's producing. Jonathan, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, these are backbreaking contracts when you're the St. Louis Cardinals.
Yeah.
When you're the Mets or the Dodgers, you just like, what? Who cares?
Whatever.
He can just bring us water. It doesn't matter. He was horrific. His WRC plus was 84. That is worse than Mason Winn's, who we just kind of winced a little bit. 84. And by all accounts, this is the thing that blows me the most is that he has lost all his power. All of it. Yeah, is it the monsters, the Monstars just go and they take the power in Space Jam?
Yeah.
That they just must be at his house 24/7 because he has lost not only all power but the ability to hit just at all. And it was a cliff. If you look at all of his advanced statistics,
it was.
hard hit rate, all this stuff, 2022, he could have been the MVP.
He could have.
Easily could have been. 23, 24, 25. I mean, just took a right turn off of a plateau. It's just unbelievable. I don't know what has happened to him. Maybe some injury stuff, but it's just a complete, unequivocal just disaster for him to be performing like this with this contract. What do we do with him? I want to trade him. They said they're not going to release him. I'd like to send him into the solar system, let him just deal with it out there. I don't know what the heck we're going to do with him. Mm-hmm. And this is what scares me the most, is that if he's around and he's on the team, which I think there is a real possibility that he is on the team, because who's going to want this? And I do not want to attach any kind of talent to him. He doesn't deserve that. Like, we don't deserve to send out a prospect to get rid of him. If it's just money we pay down, I'm fine with that. But I don't want to send out like Chase Davis with Nolan Arenado. I don't want to do that. We're just going to give up on a prospect because Arenado has fallen off a cliff. If he's on the team, he's playing 2 days a week. He's not that's what he is now. And I don't know that they'll have that conversation, but if he is on this team, he cannot play every single day. He cannot be a part-time starter. He's going to be a spot starter. He's going to be Brandon Crawford, if we remember him, right? That's what he's going to be. And here's my last point here. This is just maybe a little bit of a personal dig. He's had one good season on the Cardinals. It was 2022. He has had one good season. 21 was okay. He was like a 4-WAR guy. But every other season has been it's really just been a disaster. And if he stays throughout the rest of his contract, this is one of the worst contracts towards the back end in baseball history, and there's no question. There's no question. Going to Cooperstown, maybe. I don't know. This back half of his career is really tarnishing that. Good luck making the other side, Matt.
Okay, here's the opposite case. Just kidding. There's not one. There's not one possibility. The only thing you could reasonably say is the Cardinals have had X number of years consecutive in a row where they've had a Cooperstown-bound player on their roster. Now, maybe we've got Mason Winn, right? But that is literally the only case, and it's just the tradition kind of garbage that we have just been drowning in to get out of here. So, Bill DeWitt, as I know you listen to this podcast faithfully, here's the pledge I'll make to you. If you trade Nolan Arenado and you pay down his entire salary on the trade and you just give him to another team, I will come and eat at Arby's 2 days a week for the next 5 years to help you pay off this contract, okay? I will gain 15 pounds. I just need Nolan off of the roster, whatever we have to do. If we have to attach Chase Davis to it, I will attach Chase Davis to that. Whatever we have to do. He cannot be on this team next year. Sorry, Nolan. You don't provide any leadership. Your defense is above average. I can hit better than you now. Like, that's ridiculous. But just... okay, last point. You know that when you Google something, that like Google AI comes up and gives you which I find to be like moderately helpful a lot of time. Like, it does a pretty good job. I think if you fed Redbird Rundown all of our stuff into Google AI, I think the summary would be, please get rid of Nolan Arenado, would be the summary. And I hope we do it soon. I can't talk about it all winter. I really can't. Will they? Won't they? It's like the worst TV romance in the history of mankind, except they never do it. It's just, I can't do it. I can't do it.
So do the DeWitts own Arby's?
He's going to Cooperstown. Yeah, that's their Arby's money.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You know who doesn't have the meat? Nolan Arenado.
We have no meats.
No meats. Is
he going to Cooperstown? I don't know anymore.
I don't know. This is going to be one of these where he gets like 80% of the vote. You have to have 75. He's not like anywhere in the 90s, anywhere up there. It's sad. It is sad because he's going to get dinged for playing in Colorado. He is.
Offensively, he
Yeah,
is.
he's going to get
Defensively,
dinged for it. And he had one good year, really good year in St. Louis, and then everything else has been bad. He's like 33, 34.
Yeah. It's going to be an interesting test case for shortstop defense can take you a long way, a la Ozzie Smith. Can third base defense take you all the way there, like Brooks Robinson?
Yeah.
Because that's what he's going to have to lean on.
It's tough.
Yeah.
His
collapse has been
go.
just astounding to
Gotta
watch.
Because the Cardinals, what the sheet payroll, there it is.
Yeah.
The payroll, we can't handle that much. Like you said, Jonathan, like
Not
if
on a whiff.
We can't, like on a complete whiff. Like this is like paying Nolan Gorman $30 million to do what he did. That's literally what this is.
Yeah, or paying Michaelis $20 million. Oh wait.
So we got it. This one's rough. This is how rough this is. Like to speak so illy.
Would you rather? Okay, all right. Quick.
Oh,
would
boy.
you rather? Would you rather the Cardinals re-sign Michaelis for another year because we need pitchers, and trade Arenado, or keep Arenado and not have Michaelis pitch?
I hope Michaelis is the opening day starter. I think it's that much.
Oh wow,
Andy,
I'm still thinking. Is there enough spots in the lineup to hide Arenado, like to get him?
That's not the issue to me. The issue is these other guys need this.
I don't want to see the meatball pitches anymore. I think I don't want to see Michaelis more than I don't want to see Nolan.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
that's tough. I had to think for a good bit for that.
I don't know realistically what we do with him though. Like all seriousness, we say trade him. There's no team that wants this.
Why?
Nobody wants it.
We're gonna have to eat the whole salary.
Yes, I don't know how, and we're gonna have to trade somebody along with it if we don't want to eat the salary.
Right.
Like it might have to be like Tink Hintz, which like somebody with some value. This is $40-something million. This is not.
Yep.
18 million. This is a lot of money. Andy,
you were smart to really introduce the divide the war by how much they get paid.
Oh.
That's just a good way to look at this. And you're right. Arenado's is just sadly horrific. Yeah. And that's how baseball teams think. They're thinking in terms of value. And Arenado's one of the worst values in baseball. And if we're going to get rid of him, we're going to have to eat a lot of it, all of it.
And this is the thing that kills me is there's no indication that this was going to happen.
Nope.
It just happened. He was just horrible, just
Power
immediately.
Gone.
Yeah,
yep.
Nothing.
Yep. And it's not like, I think of to the Angels eating the Pujols like that. If you looked at that value, probably was horrific towards the end of that contract. And then we get him for the last year, and he was pretty good for
amazing at the end.
Yeah, right. It was insane at the end. So maybe, Jonathan, we can just hope for a renaissance like that. Like we get that out of him, but that's the level. Like the Cardinals milked all the good years out of Pupu, and then he went to the Angels. We're the reverse. Yeah, yes. We're the reverse of this at this point. The Rockies are like, thank you right now.
Well, you know how everybody's freaking out about, well, not freaking out, upset maybe that Marmol's coming back. It was Mo and Marmol. I am infinitely more worried about him coming back. Infinitely more worried about him. He is so much more damaging to the progress and the development.
Yes, I think that's what it is too.
3 other people. We should have done this last year. And I told you guys, if Mo traded him to the Astros and he collapsed like this down there, we would have sent him off with a parade down Market Street. Thank God he pulled this master stroke one final time for us. That would have really done it.
This is really sad too because Arenado's been loyal. He had that opt-out, and he didn't exercise it because he wanted to win in St. Louis. I feel bad that I feel this way so strongly about him because I think he's a good guy.
Yep.
But, man, I'm done. He's morphing into one of my least favorite Cardinals of all time.
Right. He's borderline Francisco Lindor's salary without the 5 WAR to go along with it. All right? The All-Star WAR to go with that.
So Lindor had 5 WAR?
Yeah.
Yeah, he missed it by 5.
That's just tough.
It is tough.
It's bad. He was a Mason win away.
Oh. Well, guys, thanks for tuning in to the Redbird Rundown, your go-to source for all things St. Louis Cardinals. Be sure to subscribe. Review the show. It really helps us grow. Follow us on Twitter, Blue Sky, Facebook, and YouTube for the latest updates. If keep those rally caps on, and let's go Cards.
We have no meats.